I'm supposed to first off list the points in the mapping diagram. That's step number one for me. Step number one, list the points in the mapping diagram. Remember, a mapping diagram takes a bunch of points, and I get to make the domain or the input bubble, and I get to make the domain or the range or the output bubble and go pew, 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 pew. But when I'm given the mapping diagram, I know how many points there are by how many arrows there are. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 arrows. Even though in each bubble I have 3 numbers, since there's 4 arrows, that means I have 4 points. So as you can see, 2 goes to 20. So I have a point that is 220. And that's supposed to be a 2. And it's not even close to being a 2. So let me try again. 220. Wow. Let me close out of a few things. Maybe that's why my computer is slow. Maybe that's why my computer is slow. What else do I have? I have 2 going to 40, so I have 2. Yep, that didn't help. 240. That's a point. Let me just rewrite them again. That looks so bad. I have 220 and I have 240. So I have 220. I have 240. Much better. I have 4 going to 40. And I have 3. Oh, these are out of order. Shame on the internet website that I stole this from. 3 is going to 30. Does this mapping diagram represent a function? No. And the reason why it's a no is because that input right there is splitting off and going to 2 different things, which means it's not a function. If x is used twice, then x is not a function. Alex, do me a favor. If you can contact Alex, tell him to check his email and go to the email that I sent yesterday about links, and the link is in yesterday's email. I can't open up GoGuardian because it takes forever and it super slows things down. All right. But yes, please tell Alex, check his email. What's the function? That's what I assume that thing there means. I don't know. We're going to talk about function rules. Let's watch a video to start the day out. Video time.
What's your function rule? Well, we're going to write a sentence using this sentence. Charlotte's age is 5 more than half of Virginia's age. Well, we have 2 people. We have Charlotte and we have Virginia. Charlotte's age is, so I'm going to put C for Charlotte. Is going to be an equal sign. 5 is 5. More than means add. Half is half of Virginia, which means half of Virginia. And we have ourselves a function rule. What I did is I took the key words. Charlotte made it C. Virginia made it V. Is always an equals. 5 is 5. More than means plus. And then half of is half. Simple.
That's right, Mr. Perich. It is simple. Oh no! What's that? Magic. So, a function rule is an equation. When you hear the word rule, you're like, oh man, that's what my parents tell me I have to do, and it's the set of laws that I have to follow because I'm a kid and my parents are making me do stuff. No. A function rule is just an equation. And usually, we use specific letters for specific things. One of the things that, for specific words, I mean. If I ever see the word output, we know this from yesterday. Output is a Y because that's your range. Input is an X value. Okay. So when I look at these sentences here, I have to switch a few things around. The output is, so output is Y, is equals, the output is Y equals, half is 1/2 of means times, half times the input, so half of X. That's my function rule. Done. 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 The output is 3 less than the input. This one's tricky. The output is Y equals. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I'm going to write it in red, and red means wrong. 3 less than the input. But that doesn't make sense. If it's 3 less than, aren't you taking 3 away? Aren't you taking away 3? So a little fun trick is whenever you see the word than, flip it. Flip things around. So even though it looks like it should be 3 minus X, that than means say, no, do X minus 3. Now watch me flip. Now watch me flip. It's a song. The output, okay, is 3 more than. Ooh, I see that than word again. So let's flip it. So let's put is 1 more than. So let's put the 1 on the right side. Twice the input. What's twice the input? 2X. And those are my function rules, baby. Sometimes if it asks you to find a function rule, all you have to do is just write out the equation. Or sometimes it's worse. Like that guy. I'm going to show you how to do it the long way, but I'm going to show you how to do the long way once. And then I'm going to remind you a shortcut of how we can do these. I'm going to remind you a shortcut of how we can do these problems. Here's the long way. I'm given 2 sets of data. Okay. I could take any of those two. I mean, I have 4 points here. Take any of those 4 points. 1, 4, and 3, 12. Why not? It's asking me to write out a function rule. If I'm going to write out a function rule, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring back something I learned last chapter and say y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So what I have to do first is find m, the slope, and the way I do that is by using the slope formula. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I'm going to label my points x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, and I'm just going to plug them in. Instead of y sub 2, I have 12, so I'll type in 12, minus in the middle. Instead of y sub 1, I have 4. So instead of y sub 1, I'm going to put 4. Instead of x sub 2, I have 3. And instead of x sub 1, I have 1. 12 minus 4 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. And last time I checked, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So now that I found out what m is, I can say y equals mx plus b. Nope. M is 4. So y equals 4x plus b. Now this is actually super convenient because now I need to find b. B is the y-intercept. B is where this line is going to cross the y-axis. And look. Ooh, I'm given a 0, 0. And remember, when x is 0, the y value is my y-intercept. So that right there, ladies and germs, is my B. So if my B is 0, I can just erase that B and then I'm done. Now you might be thinking, didn't you show us how to do this type of problem on a website? I sure did. And in the chat, I'm going to paste that website for you now. I highly suggest that you save this website into your computer. This is the website. This is going to give us something called line of best fit. When we get to the next chapter, we will actually tell you what, or I will teach you what line of best fit means. But what line of best fit does is it gives you an equation for a bunch of points. Okay, so let's just go back to the problem that we just had. Okay, this one right here. And type those points in. Let me memorize them. 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 8, 3, 12. So let's type those points in. 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 8, 3, 12. Once I have my points, I click on the thing that says show line of best fit. And there it is. And there's my equation. Y equals 4x. Don't worry about R equals 1. We'll worry about that in the next chapter. But my equation is Y equals 4x. And the battery on this thing just died. Lit. Okay. So the equation for the Johnny John, the line of best fit, and line of best fit gives us an equation through a bunch of points. The website for that is right there in the chat. And I'm going to quick plug this in so it charges. All right. Okay. And it's charging. All right. Ooh, more. Let's go to our website. Remember your points. 18, 29, 310, 411. So let's go up and reset it. Sorry, forgot that I was supposed to be sharing this. What I did, those of you who didn't see it, which was none of you probably saw it, is I went up here and I clicked the reset button. My points were 18, right? Yep, 18. 2, 9, 3, 10, 4, 11, show line of best fit, and it tells me that y equals x plus 7. And it graphs it for me too. How nice. So y equals x plus 7. That's what I wanted you to see. So I'm going to keep this here. And what I would love for you to do is go to the chat, click on the website that just that I posted in the chat, and you try this on your own with the website. I'll give you a 30-second head start, and I'll actually type it in. And I'd like to see somebody post their answer in the chat for me, please, while I do this. Okay, so you can see the points. Go right ahead. All right, I have it. I want to see if anybody can quick type it out before I show you what I got. Be 10 seconds. This is what I got. Y equals negative x plus 1. So I'm going to write out y equals negative x plus 1. Another video. Let's watch and learn.
Function notation. F of negative 3, find it if f of x equals 4x minus 1. F of x is the same thing as y. So when it says f of x equals, just imagine y equals. F of negative 3 means instead of f of x, replace negative 3 with x. So I'm going to rewrite f of x, but instead of f of x, every x is going to be replaced with negative 3. So here are the bubbles. Now what I do is just do the math. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 1 is negative 13. So I can say f of negative 3 is negative 13. That's it. Remember, f of x is the same as y, and so treat it as such.
That's right, Mr. Perich. Thank you. I don't think we're going to see function notation a lot, but I just wanted to show you that just in case. Now this is what we're mostly going to deal with. So if you're like f of x, what is that? Well, don't worry about it. Not yet. It's just, I'm going to be honest, I played the wrong video. But that's all right. We'll run in the function notation anyway. What I'm being asked to do here is evaluate. What evaluate means is plug something in and do the math. Evaluate here means I have y equals x plus 5. And oh, by the way, x is the same thing as 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, well then y equals, instead of x, write out 3 plus 5. And 3 plus 5 is 8. That's it. Y equals x over 2. X is negative 12. So y equals negative 12 over 2 plus 9. And then it's just PEMDAS. Okay, y equals, let me think, negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 9. I owe someone $6, but then I get $9. So after I pay off my debts, I have $3. Ooh, let's go get 2 items from Taco Bell, baby. From the dollar menu, of course. And I'm not saying 3 items because Taco Bell charges tax. This video is not sponsored by Taco Bell. But Taco Bell, if you're interested in sponsoring this video, you may. Y equals 1 minus 2x. There's my x. Y equals 1 minus 2 times 9. PEMDAS says I have to multiply first. So 2 times 9 is 18. So 1 minus 18. And if I have $1, but then I lose $18, I am now down $17. Good job. Good work, everybody. Time to graph. Time to graph. How many of these do I have to do? Oh, okay. I'm going to do it the long way first. I'm going to do it the long way. I'm going to make myself what's called a T table. Now, we did this the very beginning of chapter 4, where I have an X value and I have a Y value, and I pick an X, 0. And then maybe I try 1, and then I try 2, and then I plug it in. Okay. So in my head, I'm going to take 0 and plug it into X. So 0 plus 4 is 4. And so that gives me the point 0, 4, which is right there. And then I do it again. I take 1 and plug it into X. 1 plus 4 is 5. That gives me the point 1, 5, which is right 1, up 5. There's my point right there. And then last but not least, I plug in 2 for X. 2 plus 4 is 6. That gives me the point 2, 6. And so I can go right 2, up 6. There's my point. And we have the pattern. But I have 3 points. If I had a ruler, I would take my ruler, lay it down, and then draw that line right there. Boom. Now, you overachievers might be thinking, I remember you teaching us that in first section of chapter 4, Mr. Perich, but didn't you teach us a faster way of doing those problems? First, stop talking like that. And yes, I did teach you a faster way. So this is that faster way.
All right, graphing linear equations. We are to graph that equation there. Luckily, this guy right here is in slope-intercept form. Remember, if y is all by itself, the number in front of x is our slope. The number floating around is our y-intercept. So the number floating around -5 is where we begin. We put a dot right there at -5 on the y-axis. Since that's a negative slope and it's rise over run, we go up 1, left 3, negative slope, up 1, left 3. If we run out of room, we can go down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3. And I like to make as many dots as I can. Take a ruler, draw yourself a line, bang, bang. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our answer.
Thank you, Mr. Perich. Oh, OMG, you'll never guess what happened in math. Oh, I should click on it, but I won't. So stupid. So I'm going to remind you how to do what we just did. If I want to graph this and not have to make a chart, I have to get y all by itself. Oh, look. Y is all by itself. So the number in front of x is the slope. So that is my slope. And the number floating around all by itself is the y-intercept. Now remember, the y-intercept is the point all the way over here on the y-axis where my line is going to go through. So I go to my y-axis, I go down to 1, positive 1 on the y-axis, and I put a dot there. Now I use my slope to make more dots. My slope is positive 3 over 2, which means up 3, right 2. Up 3, right 2. So go to your green dot over there and do the same thing. Up 1, 2, whoopsies, 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 wah, wah, wah. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, boop. Up 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, boop. Ran out of space. So I could go back to my green dot over there and go down 1, 2, 3, left 1, 2, boop. Down 1, 2, 3, left 1, 2, boop. Down 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, ran out of room. That's all right. I have 5 points. That's more than enough. Much like how I love you guys so much. It's more than enough. Oh, great job, everybody. Let's do another one. Is y all by itself? Sure is, which means the number in front of x is my slope. You know what? That's -5. I'm supposed to view it as rise over run, right? So that should be -5 over 1. That's my slopey slope. My y-intercept is that number by itself floating around. So I go to my y-axis. There you are. I go down to +3 and put a dot right there, right there, right there. Now I go to my slope. I take my slope, which is -5 over 1. Negative slope goes down and to the right or up and to the left. So I'm going to go up 5, left 1. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. Ran out of room. So I'm going to go back to my blue dot and go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right 1. Put a dot. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right 1. Put a dot. I have 3 dots. I put my ruler on my paper and draw a nice straight line. Function rules. Function rules. And just like that, boys and girls, that's that. Describe and correct the error in graphing the function representing the input-output table. All right, so that is the point -4, -1. And it looks like what they did is they went backwards. They did -1, -4. Duh. Duh. Adoy. Adoy.